Have you ever lay in your bed at night, desperately trying to sleep, but somehow unable? Something feels missing, right? Not warmth, you have a blanket and it keeps you quite warm. It's not that you've forgotten something, you made sure you did your homework and studies. You even made sure to do your laundry. So what is it that's missing? You lay there, at first for an hour, doing nothing but thinking, trying to figure out what's missing. As the clock on your wall forever ticks, an hour passes by. You decide to stand up and walk around, and see if you can't figure it out. First you walk to your living room and look around. It's dark and cold, and the moonlight is casting long, unfamiliar shadows through the windows. Thinking about what's missing, you glance to the left, and then the right. You see nothing that seems out of place. You creep towards your kitchen, thinking you're hungry. The hallway flashes from dark to light, as you walk in and out of moonbeams. Suddenly, you stop. Your heart freezes, and the whole world seems to halt. You hear a creaking sound behind you. It's soft, muffled, almost as if someone didn't want you to hear them coming. Not knowing what to do, you sit there like an idiot, listening to the sound of that little creaking get closer and closer. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. The sound of the grandfather clock in the living room can be heard. But beneath it, you can still hear the creaking of the floor as someone or something grows near. Your mind is racing, thinking of all sorts of terrible nightmares. Finally, you feel a swell of courage and spin around, and face into pitch black darkness. Nothing. Not your cat, not a monster, just nothing. And that's when it hits you, what's been missing. But you realize, it's not what's missing, rather, it's what you have. You have nothing. Not friends, not a mother to say I love you, not even a woman in your bed. You have nothing but loneliness forever. Let's talk about your mother for a moment. Remember as far back of her as you can. That angelic figure you remember? The one who was closest to a goddess as far as you can tell. Perhaps it hasn't occurred to you that she gave up her own dreams for you. You became her dream in its place. Now, did she want to travel the world? Let's see her try to figure that into her schedule. Was she quite the athletic person in her younger years? Not anymore. Yes, stress will do that to you. Remember the perfect hair and eyes she always had when you were young? She's aged. Her hair is graying and her eyesight is fading now. Her joints are breaking down and her ambitions long abandoned. Remember when she said she'll always be there for you? She lied. She's mortal. She's dying, and she's got a good 30 years on you, probably. Her dreams, body, health, and maybe even lover are gone. Her children are all she has left in the world. Are you an only child? Then it all comes down to you. And how did you treat her? Did you always take her for granted as a kid? How about teenage years, did you always get mad at her for treating her as if you were still her little child? How about now? How long has it been since you've talked to her? Held her? Spent time with her with the knowledge that you don't have much time left? You're all she has, possibly. Hey/B. Story time. Let me tell you about my hero. He was one of your brothers, but more importantly, he was my brother. 6 months ago he was diagnosed with cancer. I won't go into specifics, but it was the type that kills you. Even after he found out, he never changed his lifestyle. He was content with being one of you. I am one of you. We are the misunderstood people of the society, but not the interwebs. The only time he wasn't on here was when he was at the doctor's or was too sick to sit up in bed. 3 days ago, he wanted to browse/B. He was looking really sick on this particular day. I had a job interview, I needed this job. I was caring for my brother, our parents considered themselves too busy to give him the proper care that he needed. The job was to keep the house over our head. So before leaving, I brought my laptop to him. We gave a slight smile and wave, you know the type, where everything will be alright. We both were lying to ourselves. See you later, Josh, I promise I won't be long. Tears coming from my eyes. I knew it was soon, so did he. I was asked why I needed a job. I didn't lie, told them the truth about Josh and how sick he was. I told them I wouldn't work overtime, because he was number one in my life, and until he is cared for, I will only do the hours I nominate. I was shocked. They understood and told me I could work there whenever I wanted. I raced back home, couldn't wait to see my brother and tell him the news. At the front was an ambulance. My heart sank. I raced inside to find my brother on the ground with the phone. He called 000, Australia fag by the way, himself. He was dead. They asked if I was Daniel, my reply was yes. They handed me my laptop. A simple message written in paint. The picture related. I feel so guilty, I wasn't there when my brother passed. I broke the one promise I swore to keep, to be holding his hand. I just want you to know, you lost a brother too. He loved you. Feels thread. Get in here. Be 17. Pretty average guy, never was outstanding or poor in anything I did. 9 out of 10, transfer student walks in and her beauty just blew me away and I immediately thought she was completely out of my league. When she walked into the room, we made eye contact with each other. I'm sitting there all wide-eyed, mouth dragging on the floor, looking dumb as shit probably. And there it was, that smile. A smile so gorgeous and captivating, that it made the northern lights seem plain. And how convenient it seemed that the only desk open for her to sit was right behind me. What do .jpg? So I try playing it cool and keep the spaghetti in my pants. I'll just introduce myself. Hey, I'm Anon, voice cracks mid-sentence. Ragu hits the floor. She laughs but only because she found it cute. I'm Sarah, nice to meet you. Months go on with us just talking in class and both of us completely failing civics class because of it. Well, I was, but we didn't care. I finally got the balls to ask her on a date. To my surprise, she said yes, even considering the fact that every guy in school wanted to hook up with her and she probably got hit on twice a day. Start going on dates, and we share that connection. That one where once you have it, you never wanna lose it. Fast forward a year later, and us practically inseparable. Graduation day came, and she was about to give her valedictorian speech. I set up a plan and asked to principal if he'd be okay with me proposing to her during the ceremony and he agreed. So I did, shifting myself as I was sneaking up behind her from backstage. I tapped her on the shoulder right before she started her speech. As she turned around I grabbed the mic out of her hand, and of course she was confused. So I give my little speech that I've racked my brain for weeks coming up with about how I love you with my entire mind, body, and soul, etc. I got on one knee and asked, will you marry me? Naturally my voice cracks mid-sentence while on the intercom. And there it was. That $1 million smile and that laugh at my voice cracking that reminded me of the first day we met. Yes, Anon, of course I'll mar. And there it was, the moment my life ended. She collapsed right there. I caught her as she was falling. She was taken to a hospital, me holding her hand the whole way there in the back of the ambulance. I'm scared, Anon. It's okay baby, you probably just got a little excited and just fainted is all. So they ran some tests to see what caused her to faint. Me, her parents, and her were sitting there in her hospital room awaiting the results. Then the door finally opened and the doctor gave the news. The results of her CT scan came in on her head. Her head lit up like the 4th of July, riddled with tumors. With no options besides a guaranteed failed surgery, he gave her 2 months to live. So Sarah, being the incredibly strong person that she is, didn't cry despite me and her parents losing it. She looked at me and finished her sentence that was cut off during the proposal. We had a small wedding with family and close friends a week later, and because she was on borrowed time, it was obviously rushed. So I emptied my savings account of $6,000 and we went to Portugal for our honeymoon because she always talked about going there. Fast forward about 3 weeks later. Laying in bed at my house, her head on my chest, watching a movie. She looked up at me. Anon, I'm sleepy. Take a nap then if you're tired. She kissed me one last time and smiled that smile that I would kill to see one more time and said, good night Anon, I'll love you forever, I promise. I knew what was happening but I held it together for her sake. I love you too, forever and always. She died in my arms. 1 year ago today. Rest in peace my angel. I just wanna see that smile again bros. Very real. I'm pretty tanked and thinking about ending it all. I love you guys for trying to help and for being there for me all these years, making me laugh, smile, cry. It was fun while it lasted. But I can't go on guys. OP signing out for the last time. Good night, and I hope everything gets better for y'all.